Success Radio Canada and Blaze Nation Media Group. You can find Bay Hill News Network at www.bayhillnews.net.
Boost your brand's visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and make a significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
It's the Vin Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Kankadi Radio.
The Very Reverend Otis Samuel Nichols, Dean and Rector of the Cathedral Parish of St. George and St. Andrew with Transfiguration Lomans Hill and Ascension Sign Hill, cordially invites you to a public lecture on the topic People, Policy, Practice, and the Possibility of Prosperity, the Rising of China and its Impacts on SIDS, with particular reference to the English-speaking Caribbean. It takes place on Monday, February 24th at the UWI Global Campus at 6 p.m. Please be seated by 5:45. Dress code semi-formal. See you there.
Every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. you will hear a old-time story by Vin Abbott on BayHillNews.net.
When in Antigua, travel with Orvan Bully bus services between Pigot's Village and St. John's on Old Fareham Road. We also conduct island tours 7 days per week, all in comfort, style, and safety. For more information, contact Orvan Bully 1268-764-2869. That's 1268-764-2869. Network presents Inside Health, 30-minute program in which we explore the human body and functions. We'll share real-life stories and the latest in medical science as we look at related diseases, conditions, and determinants of health that affect quality of life. So join me, Vin Abbott, on Wednesday evenings from 8:30 for Inside Health on Bay Hill News Net, also on KankadiRadio.info. Welcome to this week's edition of Inside Health. Trust all is well with you and yours. Wherever you are, thanks for allowing us into your space at this time. My name is Vin Abbott, your host in the studio of Kankadi Radio, Toronto, Canada, with Monty Cupido, our producer, engineer, in the studio of Bay Hill News Network on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Inside Health is a radio magazine health info program aired on Wednesdays on KankadiRadio.info and BayHillNews.net simultaneously. It takes a look at the human body, the different parts, functions, diseases, and conditions that affect performance. In this regard, we pay close attention to strategies, possible solutions, taking into serious consideration the determinants of health, to mean all those factors with which we were born, we grow, we live, and age. We do not diagnose nor provide treatment. We provide information which we believe might help you make healthy choices and help you become more empowered to dialogue with your healthcare provider. If possible, as needed, we may make referrals. This week, women's health is in focus again. Bullying takes center stage. So let us get started. Friends, you'll remember in our last program, we presented a conversation on cancer, observing World Cancer Day 2025. We shared a story from one Onika, diagnosed with breast cancer at age 31. Especially for our women folk, she had an important message. And I want to revisit that message for us this evening as a sort of a segue into what we want to talk about today as we continue to stay with women's health. And I'll read from Uncover the Breast Recognition Project. And Onika, a Black Indian Guyanese, diagnosed at 32 years. I said 31 a while ago, 32 years. And with breast cancer, stage 2. amongst many things. She said, healthcare professionals need to be mindful that their patients are not cookie cutter. While, while again, while the book they learned from is a guideline created with data from the standard control, a white male, female, remember, there's a life in your hands that is not white and does not follow that mold. She concluded by saying, she concluded by saying, you're not alone, and I can empathize with your pain. Advocate for yourself. Speak up. It means going over someone's head. If it means going over someone's head and breaking that chain of command to be recognized and be seen, do not be afraid to do it so you are respectfully heard. Words from Onika from Uncover the Breast Recognition Project. Friends, against that background, I want to start a mini series on health of women. And some of this, of course, you would have heard before. And referencing material from Harvard Medical School Family Health Guide with Dr. Anthony Kamaroff as chief editor. We got to, look at some issues that they have identified, what we here on this program have identified, over the years as issues affecting women. And today we want to really start a piece on menstruation, and as we get toward, we are leaning toward menopause. That's a big issue for many, many women today. Menopause, how do they deal with menopause? It's a family issue. So we are leaning toward that. That's where we are heading to talk a bit more about menopause. But to understand menopause, I think is useful, my friends, for us to understand the menstrual cycle. So that's where we want to begin this particular series, because there's so many problems around menstruation and menopause and things like that. Gynecological problem affecting women. I remember when I was in Boston, when I was studying there. As a matter of fact, also when I was working there, I was the senior residential counselor in about 2 or 3 programs. And I was also the human rights officer for those programs. So we had to attend human rights conferences from time to time, dealing with health issues, dealing with all those factors that affect our folks with which we were working, the population that we served. And I remember in one of the conferences, in one of the sessions, a female presented, a person living with symptoms. The long and short of the story was that she was for a long while, probably a year or so or more. I don't have that date in mind or the period in mind in terms of duration, but for a long while, for a long period, she was having some serious gynecological problems, serious menstrual pain and things like that. And she visited she went to doctor to doctor, in search of help. And everywhere she went, she was turned down. Everywhere she went, she was turned down. And she felt as if, according to her, as if everybody was saying to her, it's in your head, because they knew she had a diagnosis of mental illness. And but she was feeling the pain, she was feeling the problem, she was experiencing the symptoms and all of that. Eventually, she found a compassionate, understanding, a doctor who listened, and they did the test and all of that. And lo and behold, there was a serious problem, a gynecological problem affecting this woman. And she sued all the doctors to whom she went before. In the United States of America, how people are litigious. She sued every one of them. She got the help she needed. And the story, the theme of the session was, it's not always in my head, it's not in my head. It's doubly worse when a female presents when she is living with symptoms, or if she's Black, or if she's from a poor community, or particular geographic location. These are real issues that were there that lent themselves to the problems that we had with the pandemic that made it worse amongst marginalized communities, racialized communities than other communities. And those conditions, to a great extent, still exist today. Discrimination in the healthcare services is rife. And I was listening to a webinar. I attended a session a few mornings ago at 8:30. And I like the way the presenter, we were talking about alcohol and the elders. And he said, stigma or discrimination is stigma in action. I don't know if you're hearing me. Discrimination is stigma in action. Now, to me, that was so powerful because we all have stigmas. We live with stigmas. We think about people in different ways. We have unconscious bias and so on. But when our biases, when our thoughts or feelings and all those things move from feelings and thoughts into action, that is discrimination. Makes sense, doesn't it? Unfortunately, when it comes to healthcare, our women folk have been taking a big brunt of it, especially marginalized non-white women. And many women out there dealing with issues related to their reproductive system, menstruation, menopause, and all. And that's where we're heading. We'd really like to get into a discussion on menopause sooner rather than later. But let us begin by explaining what we are talking about when we talk about menstruation. Menstruation, or having your period, is a process in which the lining of the uterus, that is also referred to the endometrium, is shed. So once per month, that is shed. The endometrium passes through the cervix and vagina and appears outside the body as menstrual blood. Menstruation is controlled by an elaborate hormone signaling system between the brain and the reproductive organs. The onset of menstruation marks the maturity of a woman's reproductive organs and the beginning of her ability to bear children. And for most women, menstruation occurs about once a month, except during pregnancy and some illnesses until menopause, when menstruation stops. The first day of your menstrual period marks the beginning of a new cycle, and so on. Yes? And, now the average length of a menstrual cycle is like 28 days, but normal cycles can vary from 21 to 35 days. Usually the length of the menstrual cycle is consistent for an individual woman, but many things can disrupt the cycle. And normal menstrual periods vary in length from a woman to woman, from 3 to 7 days. Right, so that's where I'll stay as regards menstruation, what it is. And let's take a closer look at how it happens in the body. What are some of the hormones that are at play here when it comes to the menstrual cycle? Now, the menstrual cycle normally, again, starts very, at early teenage life. These days, females are becoming matured much earlier, 10, 11, 12, 13. There have been reports of, of persons at that age beginning to have beginning to menstruate or have their period. It's usually during early adolescent period. But again, these days, it varies in age, but it starts thereabout. Now, the menstrual cycle starts when what is called the hypothalamus. That is a part of the brain when it releases gonadotropin-releasing hormone. Now, this hormone, this chemical, stimulates the pituitary, pituitary. Let me get it right. Tell you, I'm tired, right? The base of the brain to secrete what is called follicle stimulating hormone, FSH for short, which stimulates growth of egg follicles in the ovary, as well as the production of estrogen by the ovary. Now, estrogen travels, yes, it travels in the blood to the uterus and thickens the lining of the uterus, that is the endometrium. As estrogen levels rise in the blood, the pituitary gland responds by reducing what is called FSH secretion, which lowers estrogen production by the ovary several days later. This is called a negative feedback loop, since rising estrogen levels lead to a subsequent fall in estrogen levels. And now the rising estrogen levels also cause the pituitary gland to produce a surge of what is called luteinizing hormone, LH. High levels of LH cause the release of a mature egg from a follicle. The now empty follicle produces more estrogen as well as another hormone called progesterone, both of which build up the lining of the uterus in preparation for receiving a fertilized egg. Now the egg travels to what is called the fallopian tube, where it may be fertilized. If it is fertilized, the egg then travels to the uterus, where it implants in the lining. If fertilization does not occur, the empty follicle stops making estrogen and progesterone. When the levels of these hormones become too low to maintain the thickened endometrium, the lining of the uterus, menstruation occurs. If fertilization occurs, the empty follicle continues to make estrogen and progesterone, and menstruation does not occur during pregnancy. So essentially, that is what happened in the menstrual cycle, from adolescence, from early, a clock in a female's life, and from 13, like I said, a lot of females are now presenting with menstruation at an early age, but during adolescence, early adolescence, and that continues throughout the fertility life of the woman. Yes, that continues throughout that period, and until the woman, the female, gets to menopause. You with me? Right? Until we get to menopause. And this is such an important area of a woman's life. It is important. Well, all stages of development are important, but during menopause, there are many things that are not understood, and the reports are there where we know that during this period, relationships can fall apart, or the menfolk don't understand what is happening. The doctors sometimes don't understand what is happening, and the woman herself might not understand the changes that are taking place in her body, the physical symptoms and so on. We will get to those in some, right? But also, for many persons, especially those persons who have, have not had any children or anything like that, it marks a serious period in a person's life. And there are many taboos around menopause, and we want to dispel some of them with some facts during this series. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say a little bit about menopause this evening, and we'll continue next week with symptoms, signs, and symptoms, some of the struggles, that women experience. We do have in studio here material on diets and so on diets that have been recommended for persons going through menopause. We might get into some of those as well. We might have a discussion with someone. I don't know just yet. We'll see where it takes us. But essentially, menopause is not a definitive event like the first time you menstruate, right? It's not definitive. It's a long period. It's not definitive like you see your first period, you know that you are menstruating, you know that you are now able to become pregnant. You know that. It's not the same for menopause. It's not the same like it's like this is menopause, starts here, well it ends here. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not as simple as that. It's not definitive. The window in time before periods stop, but after they become irregular, is called perimenopause. It is a gradual process during which periods become irregular and then stop altogether. Menopause itself is often defined as the absence of menstrual periods for 12 months in a row. It is accompanied by levels of the female estrogen, right? Low levels of the female estrogen. For most women, my friends, for most women, the process begins in the mid 40s and ends with the last menstrual period at about age 50. However, periods can end at a much earlier or later period or later age. Lifestyle factors play a role in the timing of menopause. For example, cigarette smoking may lead to an early menopause. And women who have both ovaries surgically removed experience menopause immediately. The changes during menopause are really related to changes in the function of the ovaries. And hear this, at birth, your two ovaries contain a lifetime supply of eggs, over 350,000, yes, per ovary. That's according to the data, right? Around the time of puberty, yes, estrogen production begins in the cells of the follicle. Estrogen is also produced, yes, in much smaller amounts by fatty tissue. In simple terms, menopause marks the end of the reproductive years. The ovaries no longer proceed through the monthly cycle of maturing an egg and preparing the uterus for pregnancy. This causes a decrease in the body's estrogen level from the ovaries. In a woman, estrogen exerts an effect on the cells of blood vessels, bone, skin, the uterus, breast tissue, the lining of the vagina and urinary tract, and the brain. When estrogen levels decrease, each of these tissues and organs is affected. You'll see where this comes in useful when we start to talk about the symptoms, some of the things that women go through during menopause. Yes? Let me repeat this. In a woman, estrogen exerts an effect on the cells of blood vessels, bone, skin, the uterus, the lining of the vagina and urinary tract, and the brain. Right? And when we talk about skin, I want to include here hair. Right here. When estrogen levels decrease, each of these tissues and organs is affected, causing hot flashes, vaginal dryness, urinary tract irritation in some women. Friends, I'll just end with this as regards menopause. The change of life during menopause really describes the body's adjustment to a change in estrogen level. Over time, the beneficial effects of estrogen on the bone and on the heart's blood vessels are lost. Osteoporosis and heart disease become more common to women who have gone through menopause. Hormone therapy is designed to reduce both the short-term symptoms and the long-term health consequences of menopause. Truth is, the symptoms of menopause are sometimes subtle. For this reason, your physician, your doctor may order blood tests to measure follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, and luteinizing hormone, LH levels. It's a discussion that you need to have with your doctor. If you are on the verge of getting into menopause, or you're in perimenopause, or whatever, it's always a good thing to have a conversation with your doctor as regards where your levels, your hormone levels are, to help determine a treatment plan, a regimen to help you through this period of life. My friends, menopause can be devastating physically, emotionally, and otherwise for women, for families, and others. Let us not take it slightly. Monty, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll take a quick look at bullying. Stay with us, my friends.
When in Antigua, travel with Orvan Bully bus services between Pigot's Village and St. John's on Old Fareham Road. We also conduct island tours 7 days per week, all in comfort, style, and safety. For more information, contact Orvan Bully 1268-764-2869. That's 1268-764-2869.
Boost your brand's visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and make a significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
The Very Reverend Otis Samuel Nichols, Dean and Rector of the Cathedral Parish of St. George and St. Andrew with Transfiguration Lomans Hill and Ascension Sign Hill, cordially invites you to a public lecture on the topic People, Policy, Practice, and the Possibility of Prosperity, the Rising of China and its Impacts on SIDS, with particular reference to the English-speaking Caribbean. It takes place on Monday, February 24th at the UWI Global Campus at 6 p.m. Please be seated by 5:45. Dress code semi-formal. See you there.
It's the Vin Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Kankadi Radio.
Every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. you will hear a old-time story by Vin Abbott on BayHillNews.net.
Bayhill News Network presents Inside Health, a 30-minute program in which we explore the human body and functions. We'll share real-life stories and the latest in medical science as we look at related diseases, conditions, and determinants of health that affect quality of life. So join me, Vin Abbott, on Wednesday evenings from 8:30 for Inside Health on Bayhill News Net, also on KankadiRadio.info.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Inside Health. Trust all is well with you and your loved ones. Monty, hope all is well with you. To our friends here in Canada, where the weather has been wretched, so let me say a special good evening or good morning, afternoon to you, as the case might be. Hope you continue to take care on the road. I just got in like 5 minutes before this 10 minutes before this program. And it's really difficult out there, walking the sidewalks, and even the trucks and the cars and the trains and all that. They're having difficulty negotiating the snow and things like that. Much more the human body, and it's cold. There are banks of snow all around. The city has been slow in clearing the sidewalks and things like that. It's just been. Takes every ounce of energy out of you. Pardon me. But it is Canada. It is what it is, right? And from all the reports, we should be having a few days of less cold temperatures, I think, early in the week, above freezing point. So So that is good news. It's a little bit of relief for folks like me and others who are just here and there, here in the cold, but in heart and in spirit on St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Caribbean, where it's warm and nice, I believe. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is, and they're always equalizing factors. So, friends, let's get to bullying. You know, it is just, I think, this morning or yesterday, I saw a news flash a story on one of the stations or channels that a young lady, a young person, I think 12 or 13, committed suicide in the United States of America following the bullying, the harassment based on issues related to deportation, the policy of the new government, the new administration there, United States. She was bullied, harassed, immigrant, being deported. She can take it. She committed suicide. Friends, I can tell you many stories as a result, related to bullying. I know folks personally who have suffered and continue to suffer as a result of bullying. And it's something that we seem not to pay close attention to, especially in relation to the increase in social media, IT, and AI, and things like that. So tonight I just want to introduce briefly the topic of bullying, something for us to think about. You know, and if you have any story that you'd like to share with us, if you want to send us an email with your story, you can do that at cancardi.radio@gmail.com, cancrdi.radio@gmail.com. If you want to send us a message about your experiences with bullying, how you've gotten over it, or how you're dealing with it, we'll be happy to share with our listeners on this program. Again, cancardi.radio@gmail.com, cancrdi.radio@gmail.com. You don't have to give your name. It will remain anonymous. Not to worry about that. But we'd like to really shed some light on this issue. We'd like to bring it to center stage, so to speak. Against that background, I visited a community hub, a safety hub here in Toronto, as, of course, presented by the Toronto Police Service. And I got a package from them on issues not only related to bullying, but safety around so many issues, and some of them will bring to bear on the program from time to time. Of course, this is about Toronto, but I think there's always something for us to pull from what is happening around us. We take what we need, what we can apply based on our culture, based on our economics in the Caribbean, on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but there's always something to glean, something to gain from listening to how other people are dealing with a similar problem, even though our problem might not be on the same scale, might be lower, but still there's something for us to gain from hearing other communities are dealing with issues, especially for folks in the police services and so on. So important. So I have several handouts. They're called the Toronto Police Service 33 Division Crime Prevention Toolkit, assisting our community in home security and personal safety. Crime Stoppers Toronto. Make crime prevention your intention. You got me? Make crime prevention your intention. And if you want to get more information, you can reach them, torontopolice.on.ca. torontopolice.on.ca. If you want to get more information, please do that. If you're living here in Toronto, or you're in St. Vincent, I'm sure they'll be to support you in your interest in preventing and reducing crime. Very, very important. So bullying, according to a document here, a flyer from the Toronto Police Service. Yeah, bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. Bullying is intended to hurt another person in some way. Both people who are bullied and those who bully others may have serious, lasting problems. Anyone can be bullied or be the bully. Let me repeat that. Anyone can be bullied or be the bully. let's continue here for a little bit, Monty. And by the way, friends, following this program, after 10 minutes, at the end of this program, within 10 minutes, Jean J will be coming on with old time stories, right? So you have an evening with the Abbotts today, tonight, right? You have an evening with the Abbotts, right? So stay with us, my friends. Let me make sure I know what is happening here. Yes. Anyway, now there are many reasons that may contribute to your involvement in this behavior. Often people need support to change their behavior and address any other challenges that may be influencing their behavior. So, a bully. Who is a bully? A bully is a domineering person or a group of people who abuse others. Got that? A bully is a domineering person or a group of people who abuse others. Secondly, a person who tries to control others by fear is considered a bully. A person who tries to control others by fear is a bully. A person who behaves in an aggressive, thoughtless, and unjust manner is a bully. So I repeat, a domineering person or a group of people who abuse others, a bully. A person who tries to control others by fear, a bully. A person who behaves in an aggressive, thoughtless, and unjust manner, a bully. Now, according to Toronto Police Services, from this document, reduce the risk, reduce the opportunity. And that's a big, anyway, we'll get to that. Reducing the opportunity. You're getting into the crime triangle. Anyway, there are 4 types of bullying. Briefly, 1, verbal bullying is saying or writing mean things, including teasing, name-calling, inappropriate sexual comments, taunting. 2, social bullying, sometimes referred to as relational bullying, involves hurting someone's reputation or relationships, including leaving someone out on purpose, telling other children not to be friends with someone, spreading rumors about someone, embarrassing someone in public. 3, cyberbullying. Cyberbullying can reach a victim 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Cyberbullying refers to using electronic technology and communication tools, example, cell phones, computers, tablets, text messages, email, chat websites, and social media sites to bully someone, including sending messages that are rude, mean, intimidating, insulting, or threatening, spreading rumors, posting embarrassing pictures or videos. 4, physical bullying is the use of physical action to hurt, embarrass, intimidate, or threaten someone, including hitting, kicking, pinching, spitting, tripping, pushing. The reasons why people are bullies: peer pressure, they're looking for attention, they have no friends, do not care about people's feelings, they are insecure and may have been picked on in the past, they want to feel accepted by others, they want to be part of a gang or group, their behavior is a reflection of personal problems. Friends, if you're listening to us on this program, our friends here in Toronto, the police services, are saying to you, if you're a bully, your reputation could suffer. You could hurt someone. You could become unpopular with friends. You could disappoint your family. You could be suspended from school or work. Police will investigate. If charged and convicted, you'll receive a criminal record. Bullying, my friends, can be a criminal offense. Some offenses associated with bullying and cyberbullying may result in serious consequences or a criminal record. And some of the possible effects of bullying impacts everyone in different ways. In some cases, victims
could bear the ridicule and taunting and have committed suicide. Friends, if you are being bullied, you may lose your self-esteem. You may feel humiliated. Your physical health may suffer. Your emotional health may be jeopardized. You may skip school or work to avoid the bully. Your grades or your job may suffer. You may feel like running away. You may experience depression or thoughts of hurting yourself. What to do? If you're a victim or witness bullying or witness of bullying, report the incident to someone you trust. Your parent or guardian or the family member, your principal or teacher, your supervisor. The police or who you can report criminal forms of bullying can anonymously to Crime Stoppers by calling, the numbers down there on St. Vincent. Never resort to bullying tactics to make bullies stop. Instead, try to stay together in a group. Be brave, confident, and stick up for yourself. Walk away from trouble and, where possible, avoid the bullying. Seek the help of an adult and or one of the following resources to assist you in addressing the matter. And here in Toronto, there are numbers here, and I can share them with you on Kankadi Region. Friends, one of them, Kids Help Phone, kidshelpphone.ca, cyber reporting, stop a bully, www.stopabully.ca, stopabully.ca. Friends, you don't have to be in Canada to access, of course, these resources. Stopabully.ca. You can check that out. Cyber reporting in Canada, that's different. Kids Help Phone, kidshelpphone.ca. I would suggest to you and present to you stopabully.ca. Friends, hope you found the program useful this evening. I've gone over a wee bit, but I sincerely hope you found the program useful. On behalf of all of us at Kankadi Radio, the Hill News Network, Monty Cupid, our chief engineer producer there on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I want to thank you so much for being part of the program this evening. Again, if you have a story around bullying, or if you have any questions around menopause, we'll be happy to address them. To share information with you and other folks who might be experiencing the same challenges. You can reach us at kankadi.radio@gmail.com. We'll be really, really happy. Send them directly to us at Kankadi Radio. You can always go through Monty, you guys on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, BayhillNews.net. You can always get information there. Connect with Monty. I'll be happy, to get information from you. Monty, if you get any information, any question, please do not hesitate to forward to us. We'll be happy to address them, moving forward in this particular series. Thank you again. Coming up shortly, Vin Abbott with Old Time Story in 10 minutes also. Thank you so much, Monty. Thank you all. Stay cool and warm here in Toronto, Canada, down there in the Caribbean. Yes, continue to stay well. Love you. Be gone.
Bay Hill News Network is an internet radio. We are affiliate with Fun City Radio USA, Kankadi Radio, and Success Radio Canada and Blaze Nation Media Group. You can find Bay Hill News Network at www.bayhillnews.net.